bill and hope that the union government will take credibility of these words, sir. Thank you.
Very good. Maniniya Shri M. Bharat ji.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. Chairman, sir. This mic also has to be switched on. Thank you, Chairman, sir. I rise to stand in support of the Repealing and Amending Bill 2025, which addresses a subject that's at the very heart of effective governance and a subject that's very close to my heart. And this is not optional. This is essential for a modern and dynamic democracy. Some of my colleagues in the opposition speaking here have mentioned some of the points which I'd like to address later on in my speech, sir. But one thing I think we should all agree, sir, is the change is the only constant. And our constitution makers have recognized this timeless truth, and they understood that governance must evolve with society, and therefore built Article 368 as the constitutional engine for reform. They did not give us a static document. They gave us a living constitution, a framework that entrusts future generations with the responsibility to amend, repeal, and refine laws as India progresses. But over the decades, sir, our legislative system has developed some serious structural imbalance. I have personally experienced this in many aspects of my life, sir, where governments I've seen are very good at adding laws, adding rules, adding conditions, but are very poor at removing or updating outdated ones. And this unnecessarily is faced from the common man to the poorest of the poor and to the highly wealthy ones also. Every new policy, sir, brings with it fresh compliance requirements, new penalties, additional layers of regulation. But rarely do we pause to ask whether old provisions have outlived their relevance or whether they are now contradicting newer laws. The result is regulatory congestion, which burdens citizens, businesses, government officers, creating confusion and discretionary enforcement, sir, where we have seen some bad actors use this discretion to harm the interests of citizens or the nation also. So the current NDA government, I'm very happy, has taken concrete steps over the last decade to relieve citizens and businesses from this burden. More than 40,000 unnecessary compliances have been abolished, easing procedural hurdles and reducing red tape. Over 1,500 outdated and redundant laws have been repealed, clearing the statute book of colonial-era provisions and laws that no longer serve India's development. Sir, I want to point out some things over here, sir. Some of the members of the opposition said that we are changing laws in a matter of a few years, 3 years, 4 years. We must recognize that we are in the era of AI and quantum computing where the world is changing so fast, and we have to keep adapting. And one must also think, what is the style? Are we going to do perfection, or are we going to ensure that we are good to move forward and we'll keep amending as we go? If I had to choose between perfection and being good enough to move forward, I would always choose good enough, sir, because we shouldn't be stuck in policy paralysis. And this is very important because I want to point out, in the UPA regime between 2004 to 14, only a single repeal bill was introduced, which repealed just 2 outdated laws, sir. This is a stark comparison between the current NDA government and the earlier UPA regime about how they have neglected revising old laws. So I'm an active member of the new Jan Vishwas 2.0 bill committee, and I've been participating actively in rationalizing penal provisions, simplifying compliance to improve ease of living and ease of doing business. I hope that this same principle keeps continuing, sir, and I'm happy to hear that our Honorable Minister Piyush Goyal ji has mentioned that Jan Vishwas 3.0 is already underway. I think this is what is a sign of a healthy democracy, where we keep evolving, keep looking at our past. So while these reforms at the center have eased compliance and built trust, we need to do so at the state also, where we have a lot of interaction with citizens. In our state government, unfortunately, in the previous government, some regrettably damaging laws like the Land Titling Act or the Three Capitals Act that the earlier government tried to push through has caused a lot of pain and confusion in citizens, damaging trust. And as soon as the NDA government has come into the Andhra Pradesh, we've provided clarity and have repealed these laws which have gone against the interest of citizens. While these were in particular nefarious things, the overarching principle that problematic legislations, laws that are creating conflict, laws that are outdated, repealing them, revising them, is essential for bringing back transparency, trust and predictability in governance. And I look forward to aiding our state government in continuing to do so, sir. The Repealing and Amending Bill 2025 is not merely an exercise in removing obsolete statutes. It reaffirms a fundamental principle of good governance, that laws which have outlived their purpose must be repealed with the same resolve with which progressive laws are enacted. This House bears a responsibility not only to legislate for the present, but to free future generations from needless regulatory burdens. Thank you, Chairman, sir, for giving me this opportunity to speak on this important bill, and I wish that the government continue to do this to ensure that there is maximum governance and minimum government, and empowering our citizens for a trust-based and efficient society. Thank you.
माननीय श्री कल्याण बनर्जी जी।